In my current event presentation, I decided to talk about the protest that is ongoing as of now and relating it to what we are currently learning. For example, I have decided to talk about the protests and relating it to the Boston Tea Party. The article that I have chosen is titled "The George Floyd Protests Are Not Chaos." This article was written by Megan Garber on June 2nd, 2020. In the article, it talks about the killing of George Floyd. This sparked a flame all across the globe, causing people to protest and fight for their rights. One of the most famous quotes that you hear from everyone right now is "Black Lives Matter." These protesters have had enough for the killing of black men by racist police and want to change. Although the protest isn't mainly about George Floyd, it is mainly blacks who have equal rights and for all the innocent people that were murdered. I decided to choose the Black Lives Matter and the protest for my topic because I found it very interesting that majority of the people on earth have had enough. I will see on social media that people not even in our country are protesting as well. This is mind-blowing to me, not being a part of the country but wanting another country to become another one. That is very powerful to me, and that is the main reason why I have chosen this topic. Another reason will be along the years on social media, I was saddened by the many deaths that were caused by police over a little incident and I want to change as well. To begin with, I have chosen the topic of the Boston Tea Party to relate to my current event presentation. I chose this topic because I can relate it to what is currently going on. For example, the Boston Tea Party is basically a protest that was ongoing for American colonists frustrated at Britain that didn't allow them to pay taxes. American colonists were fed up with this and started dumping tea imported from Britain into the sea. As you can see in the picture, they are throwing out the tea out of frustration and they are protesting as well. The reasoning for the protest was the American colonists wanted their voice to be heard, such as how the Black Lives Matter protest is. Another similarity I found between these two besides the protest will be the quotes that are said at the protest. For each of these protests, they have a specific saying that they repeat over and over. For example, the Black Lives Matter protest would repeat "Black Lives Matter," which basically meant that the African community is going against violence and racism that are against black lives. Moving on to the Boston Tea Party, one famous saying that you have probably heard would be "taxation without representation." Taxation without representation means the idea to impose taxes on people who have control of the taxing authority. My third reasoning on how I found the two similarity would be the voices, not in the region, but other places as well. Black Lives Matter movement started primarily from the killing of George Floyd. George Floyd was killed by the Minneapolis police, and that is when all the chaos went down. Even though it happened in Minneapolis, voices were heard across the world and wanted change. For the Boston Tea Party, it started in Boston, Massachusetts. Once people have heard of this news, voices were heard all over the country and wanted a change as well. These two movements are powerful because even though it did not happen in their city, they still wanted a change to happen. Well, that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening in to my current event with the protests and the Boston Tea Party and the similarities between the two.